now, back with part two. Yeah, go on. You were saying, Terry, about DAZN and Sky and Steffi Ball.
Yeah, look, I think Sky need to open up the platform. It's better for British boxing if promoters know that every so often they can get on Sky, and then at least then it's easier to make certain matchups happen. And also, let's not rule out MTK. I can see MTK wanting a bigger presence on something like Sky because the live shows haven't been what they were a couple of years ago. So yeah, everything's up in the air. It'll be interesting to see how it all lands.
Yeah, it will. I want to talk about pundits. I know I always give them a bit of stick, but do you feel that now people are more bothered about jostling for position to get themselves on TV? Because, for example, Paul Smith's, I believe he's a good pundit, but he was told by Sky to rein it in with some of his tweets because he's very opinionated, isn't he? And he didn't, and they very, very rarely use him. I think he was used twice last year. And when you've been getting 10 and 15 gigs a year and you use twice, it's a bit of a, I think it's a bit clicky now, isn't it? Do you think it's gone too clicky?
So the problem you've got, Russ, is social media has become this big deal. And I never really understand it because the people who make the most noise on social media are the people you should probably listen to the least.
Yeah.
But what happens is Sky look at it and they go, someone like Paul Smith, it gets slaughtered on social media. So if we put him on our platform, that noise is going to come to us, and we don't need that on our timeline. We're trying to keep our timeline clean. So Sky just want anyone that doesn't give them a headache, basically.
Do you feel that Ed Robinson gets off scot-free in a lot of things that go on at Sky? I know you're Fitzroy Lodge and Ed is ex-Fitzroy Lodge, and you might not want to answer that question, but do you feel that he gets away scot-free with signing off on some fights they're putting on?
So I don't think Ed gets to sign off on fights. Like, that's not Ed's thing. Right. And Ed wouldn't want that sort of role. From what I know of Ed, Ed's a quiet family man. That's what Ed is. Ed's a guy from a good family, good background. He just flies straight. He's not a guy he flies very, very straight. So that's why we respect him. So Ed will look at the production side of things. Yeah, how can we make the Sky shows better? But in terms of putting the cards together, because he doesn't sign off on the budget, it's not for him to say whether the cards are good or not.
Who does sign off on them because they're serving up who on toast?
Look, I imagine it's the same committee, right? It'll be Hurnell suggest it, Adam Smith will scrutinize it, and then he will either recommend it to whoever the head of Sky Sports is now. Can't remember the guy's name. He used to be group commercial director, and I can't remember his name now. But yeah, he'd sign off the checks because that's what they do.
Well, I've been told that Ed Robinson has a say in it, so that's obvious.
Nah, Ed doesn't have a say. He doesn't. How can I put it? Ed doesn't. He's not paid for that. If you pay Ed Robinson to have a say, he'll do it. Ed's not doing anything for free.
All right, then. Well, if he's involved with production, why ain't somebody coming out and saying, "What's this? Are you with production?" I mean, the production.
Well, no. Let's be honest. Visually, Sky still put out the best product.
Yeah, I'm on about the pundits, Terry. I'm not on about fireworks going off in people's garden. I'm on about the pundits, mate.
But who'd you get? But who'd you get instead?
Well, I'd like to see different people use to see if they can do the job.
Who?
Well, there's boxers around here that could be used as boxers in Man. Why don't they get Michael Brody? Ricky Hatton use him more. Why don't they get? They
don't sound great. No. They don't sound great on TV. I'm not going to lie.
Frank Bruno, world heavyweight champion. He don't
doesn't sound great on TV.
Doesn't sound great. Nobody's been there and done it.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't sound great. Like, you can have whoever you want, man. You may as well just, I don't even know, man. Put Isaac Lowe on there then.
Isaac Lowe?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to put Isaac on, are they?
That's what I mean. So it's easy to say we need to change, but then, like, change to who? Look, BT can't get it right. ITV can't get it right. Channel 5 can't seemingly get it right. So who does get it right?
Well, I'd like to just see people involved who've been there and done it. I think there's too many people hovering around boxing like bad smells as pretend TV presenters and blah blah blah. At least Johnny Nelson's been there and done it. Anna Woolhouse hasn't. Why is she involved? Because she's a woman. And Natasha Jonas, I'd like to see her given a role instead of Anna Woolhouse. What do you think to that?
Yeah, you would, but you need continuity, right? Natasha Jonas is a professional fighter, so she can't do every show. Anna Woolhouse can do every show.
What about Scott Quigg? Would he be any good as a pundit? What? What? Quiggy? He's a former world champion, isn't he? Quiggy, the Quigginator. Wouldn't he be good?
I don't think it's Scott Quigg's thing. Public speaking is probably not his thing. He's a fighter, and he'll probably end up being a damn good trainer. But public speaking, nah.
Robin Reed, Clinton Woods. Clinton might be a bit too blunt, do you think?
Does Clinton even care?
No, he don't need the money. He don't care. He's done with boxing, isn't he? Well, done with that sort of boxing.
I'd like to see Robin Reed. I think Robin Reed is one of those guys who gets boxing.
He looks the part, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I don't know if he's. I don't know. How would you even audition to test him? Like, you'd have to have a show local to him.
Robin's already been on Sky, hasn't he? But they want. Clinton's been on Sky. Robin Reed hasn't. Sometimes you can say something when you're on Sky, and a boxer will turn around and say, "Yeah, but you've got me here for my expert analysis because I've been there." And they might say, "Yeah, but we don't want you to say that about this opponent for this guy."
Yeah, but look, Russ, here's what I try to explain to people. No one is paying you money to be yourself. I don't care what you do in life, whether it's a job, whether you're a singer, whether you're a footballer, whether you're a teacher. I don't care what you do in life. No one pays you to be yourself. You're paid to do a job. If you want to be yourself, set your own channel up, like you've done, right? You don't want people telling you what to do, Russ, so you do your own thing.
I do have people telling me what to do every fucking day, mate, but I try to take it on board. I say I'll take it on board.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people don't understand how the game works. You have to be able to take instruction, because Sky are looking at it and saying, look, we're looking at this 3 or 4 years down the line. We can't have people coming on here kicking the chessboard up in the air, because we spent years investing in some of these people. So you couldn't have Nassim Hamid going on there and going, I think Joshua should quit. Yeah. Like, that's not good for the brand. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that, yeah. Do you feel that moving forward, it would be better if Matchroom shared them 20 dates a year at Sky?
So I'd like to see Sky move to maybe 30 dates a year. And then say Matchroom have got half of those. The other half we're going to open up.
That's a good point. MTK could have 5, and they could share 10 between 5 other promoters, 2 each, couldn't they?
And I'd just say you have to make them bid. That's what I'd do. I'd make, what card are you proposing? If we gave you the slot, Steve Goodwin, what fights would you put on? And if you're not happy with that, you go, nah, we just won't use that slot. We'll put the netball on, or the korfball. Do you know what I mean? So I think it would force people to actually sort out their cards and make sure they were delivering something the fans want to see.
What do you think about people wanting to be managers and coming out saying they don't want to work with Frank Warren?
Who the hell said that?
Well, Dylan White said it in past. Bellew's already said it a couple of times. I think I've got it on my list here.
Okay, so how's that working out for Craig Glover? How's that working out for Thomas Whitaker Hart? Do you know what I mean? How's that working out for these guys?
It's working out good for them then, isn't it? Because they were Bellew, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's. I think this divide is bad for boxing. I've always thought that it's terrible, because
Tony Sims says he won't work with Warren. I know for a fact McCracken won't work with him. Dave Caldwell definitely won't work with Frank Warren. So you've got Bellew, White, Caldwell, Sims, McCracken. Dave Allen's got 5 or 6 fighters now. He hasn't said he won't work with Warren, but he's said he wants to show his loyalty to Sky and Matchroom. So that's
all right. So do the numbers, Porky.
You've
Right?
got about 60 fighters there that can't work with Warren. So this is where we're at. Is the problem the Cold War? People keep saying they didn't know Cold War. Well, I've just given you 6 managers there, have I? 6 or 7 managers there. 62 fighters actually that are not going to be working with Frank Warren. So
okay, so now let's look at it differently. Let's say Matchroom get 15 dates.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that then leaves you. We'll say there's 6 slots on each one for televised fights, right? 6 slots on 15 shows takes you to about what, 80?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got those 62 guys need to get into one of those 80 slots.
Yeah.
In a year. We haven't even factored in all the other guys like Joshua wants his team boxing. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, and he's another one.
He's got 5 or 6.
Joshua's not going to work with Frank Warren. He won't come out and say it. He's got a Coley, Boatsy. He's got that new kid, Annie, the smallish guy, Annie, what's he called?
Campbell Hatton.
And there's another guy as well, isn't there? There's another kid he's got, Team GB guy, because Campbell Hatton weren't Team GB, were he?
No. Has he got Ashfaq?
That's it. I'm not sure. It's a foreign named guy he's got.
Yeah. So I guess the point is, Russ, when you do all the numbers, not all of those guys that you said won't work with Frank can get on Matchroom shows. They can't all get on, and they definitely can't all get on as home fighters. So what are they going to do?
I don't know, mate. What do you think?
It doesn't make any sense to me, if I'm being honest with you. It makes absolutely zero sense that you would not work with someone. I think when you're a manager, you got to do what's best for your fighter. Yeah. Not what's best for you and your relationship.
Do you feel that Tony Bellew's beef with Frank Warren will always be there?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had beef with Bunce and never spoke for years, over 6 years.
Yeah. But I get that. No, I get that, man. Someone had to call Bunsey up on his nonsense. So fair play to him for doing that. But it's ridiculous. The state of British boxing is ridiculous. And as we talk endlessly, Russ, this is why our guys are rubbish.
Yeah.
It's why we deliver mediocre boxers who can win British titles and sneak a shot at a world title, but we don't make people who are going to have long careers at the top because we're not a big enough boxing market to have 2 promoters behaving like this. We're not America.
Do you feel that our fighters are not as schooled as the American ones? Do you feel like our fighters are rushing, they're jumping British level and jumping in with world? Right?
No, I think in Britain, we teach our guys to box pretty much the same way. Like, there's some exceptions, like the Ingle style that Brendan brought across is different, and that's pretty much it, if I'm being honest with you. The rest of it's all much of a muchness.
Can I just point out to you there, Terry? It's called the Harold Bomber Graham style in Sheffield, not the Ingle style. You always come out.
Well, Glyn Rose would disagree with that.
Glyn Rose says it was the Harold Bomber Graham style. That's who told me it was.
Did he?
Yeah, it's on my.
But he was doing it before Harold Graham had even done the Commonwealth Games.
No, he won't. If you go onto my video on Boxing Royalty on my channel, you'll see the first interview I did with one of them. With the first one of the royalty ones were Glyn Rhodes or Jimmy Tibbs, and Glyn explains it in the video about the Harold Bomber Graham style that he brought from Nottingham to Sheffield. And so it's not the Ingle style. So people keep getting mixed up with this Ingle style, and it sort of winds me up. It winds a lot of people around here. It's the Harold Bomber Graham style.
Yeah. Which he could never teach, by the way. You realise
hands down and all that. And Glyn says in the video they couldn't really work out what was going on, but nobody could hit Harold.
No, but Harold can't teach it. I remember spending time with Harold and trying to get in, like, mate, explain how you did what you did. He doesn't know. So actually, he needed Brendan because Brendan was able to watch, break it down, package it up so it could be taught. But on a side note, it is a real shame what's happened to Harold Graham. Like, he's one of British boxing's greats, and I never feel he gets the the roses he deserves from the
Who's
fans.
winning the
and from
fight?
the sport.
Obama Graham Peak against Billy Joe Peak at 160.
Harold Graham. It's
Harold
not even
Graham,
close.
all day long, innit? He went life and death with Mike McCallum. Some people had him winning by 2 rounds. He ended up losing by half a point in a 15 rounder, didn't he?
Yeah, and McCallum's one of those, like, probably one of the more complete boxers that's ever been around.
Yeah. All right then, Terry, what's your top 5 heavyweights of all time? What's your GOAT, Terry? Number 5.
I did a podcast on this. I want to make sure I get the order consistent, and I want to get it right. So, Ali, Foreman, Lennox, Ali, Foreman, Lennox, Joe Frazier has to be in there. That last slot becomes painful because I'm sure I'm going to give a different version to one I gave before. But if I'm wrong, guys, forgive me. It's all pretty close. You put Frazier in.
Riddick Bowe, does he get in there?
Nah, no chance. It's between Joe Louis and I don't even know who else would you put in there. Joe Louis or
Joe Louis or Ali?
Yeah, it's between those two. For me, Ali's one. So it goes Ali, Foreman, Lewis, Frazier, and then you're looking at probably someone like a Joe Louis or Larry Holmes, depending.
Would you put Vladimir in there?
Nah.
No.
Nah.
You know, Joe Frazier only lost to 2 men.
Ali and Foreman.
And one of them he beat.
Didn't he lose in as well? Didn't he lose in his last fight? Because I know he had a comeback.
He had a draw with Jumbo Cummins, didn't he?
That was it. Remember when he hit Frank Bruno?
Jumbo Cummins were the first guy to connect with Frank Bruno, wasn't he?
I remember that literally drag Frank into his corner.
Yeah,
didn't know where he was.
Mickey Duff were screaming at him. That was the first time he'd been punched in his life, wasn't it, Frank?
Yeah, he looked like it looked like somebody just pulled the plug, like just hit the off switch.
Yeah. They managed to get it turning around though, didn't they?
But it's fascinating, isn't it? Bruno's never. Did Frank ever hit the canvas?
I don't think he did, you know.
I don't think he's been stopped, but Frank's never been put down.
He's been stopped, knocked out on his feet by uppercuts from Iron Mike.
And then Lennox did the same to him as well, where it's that same thing, isn't it? It's just an off switch. He just goes, yeah. But what a tough man he is, because never got put down. Never.
I know. And it's a shame actually because what was Frank Bruno? He was 15 stone, something, wasn't he? He was always under 16 stone, wasn't he? Whenever he wasn't a big guy in weight, was he?
He was in the 90s, bloody hell. He fought McCall at 17-4.
Oh yeah, he put weight on for that one, didn't he? But in the 80s, he were like a pumped up cruiserweight, wasn't he? To nowadays.
Yeah, he went ages being quite small, and then I think after the Tyson fight, he just got big. Wonder why.
Big lovable lummox. What do you think to Clinton Wood's career?
Well, great career.
You think he'll get?
It's an old school career.
Hall of Fame? Think he'll get a chance to go in Hall of Fame? Because somebody pointed it out to me from America the other day in an email. He said that he thinks he should be in it. He doesn't sell himself well, does he, Clinton?
Okay, so he'd have to go in like a really weak year.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't have got in. He would not have got in this past year that got voted in. Too strong. He wouldn't have got in for that one. Like you can't put. You can't compare his career to some of those guys, but it's weird. Had he had more wins in those key fights, like if you just turn a couple of those results in his favor, yes, he gets in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But
I just feel that maybe he needed to beat Tarver or he needed to beat Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one hell of a career from fighting Roy Jones to losing to Cloud And don't forget, Cloud collapsed in dressing room afterwards. To losing to from first fighting for world title to the last fight, that were a period of 7 years.
But for me, I rank him higher than I rank Calzaghe.
At light heavyweight or
full career,
full
end-to-end career, I rate him higher.
For the guys that he tested himself against.
Yeah, for the way he did his career is the old school way of, mate, once you get to world level, test yourself, keep coming back and testing yourself. And he did that. I'll always respect his career.
Yeah, the Glenn Johnson fights. I thought he spoke well on Boxing Asylum when he said that he took a lot out of him, the 36 rounds with Johnson, which is like 198 minutes. What's that? 3 hours, 18 minutes. Is it 3 hours? No. 30, 60, 90 minutes. No, an hour and a half. Now, 208 minutes. 208 minutes punching life out of each other in the pocket with Glenn Johnson, who was a prime Glenn Johnson, then money.
Yeah.
Clinton said it took some out of him, but he noticed in the third fight, after that, he watched Johnson's career and he said a lot were took out of him. You know, they took a lot out of each other, I suppose. A great.
Yeah, because Glenn was a small guy. Glenn was a middleweight that went up to light heavy, right?
Yeah.
Clinton was the super mid that went up to light heavy.
Yeah.
But Clinton was a bigger man than Glenn. And I think it comes down to that eventually over time, man. Like when you move up in weight, you can't have too many wars at the higher weight classes. It breaks you.
He knocked Roy Jones out though, didn't he? Glenn Johnson.
Yeah.
And Clinton got stopped against Roy Jones, and that Tarver, Clinton, Roy Jones, who were that first guy, Montel Griffin and Cloud and all that. A great era, that wasn't it?
It was all right, yeah. And I think Clinton's got that sort of CV that if you were to rank the top 20 British boxers based on records,
he's in there.
He's in there
easily, mate. He never gets.
Yeah, he's in there.
Does he?
I'd probably put him ahead of Froch as well.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah.
I thought you would.
Yeah, I'm always surprised Froch didn't call him out, but you know.
I said to Clinton, he sent me a picture one day. I said, "What about you and Froch, Clinton?" And this is what the picture. I said, "Would you have fought Froch? Would you have liked that fight?" And his picture, I haven't got the picture now because I'm on a different phone. But they sent me a picture. He looked like an owl. They were like that. That means that they would have put hands on each other. I think that's that sort of picture. That's how the conversation we're going.
Would have been that would have been a hell of a fight.
Yeah, it would have been a back and forth, wouldn't it? It would have been a who is the toughest.
And I think it would have been Clinton Woods.
You think he'd have out-toughed him?
I remember being in Sheffield, and Clinton had a reputation in Sheffield outside of boxing for just being a tough guy. Like his family was a tough family.
Yeah. Yeah, tough people from up there. Tough people, but he's soft as shit if you sit and talk to Clinton, but tough man in the ring, and he don't get the credit. And I think that Dennis doesn't get enough credit as well for what they did. They were a great team, and Clinton will tell you. They did well together. They went on a great run. And you've got to appreciate the loss against Dave Starry and your setbacks against Roy Jones to appreciate the smell of success, because it's much more sweeter, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's a good note to end today's discussion on. One thing I want to ask you before you go: judging, Terry, in the UK, what do you think?
It hasn't been good enough for a long time. Like,
no.
I do think we either need to retrain our judges or get new judges in. Like, the scoring doesn't make sense. It's almost as if the scorecards have been written in advance.
Do you feel that Robert Smith coming out saying that he spoke to Steve Gray and Steve Gray scores a fight like he's got two imaginary cups of water and he puts one cup into one and one into other? Did you and other people score it in 1 minute rounds? 3 1 minute rounds per round. That's what Robert Smith were coming out saying to Mike Costello. What did you think to that?
So in the 10-point must system.
Did you hear that? You did hear it though, didn't you?
Nah, I've stopped listening to Mike Costello and those guys because they're just company men. But from what I understand it, right, the 10-point must system goes like this. I have to give 10 points to the guy that wins the round.
Yeah.
Not that wins the first minute or the last minute, the guy that wins the round.
Yeah.
Now, however I get to that point is irrelevant because we should all be seeing pretty much the same thing. There'll be some variation because depending on where you sit and where the action is, you might not see certain things the same way. But it's too wide. And it's not good enough just to say, well, look, it's just the judge's opinion. It's like you're messing with people's lives here. Yeah, you're really messing with people's lives. And so but no one knows what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is. But what would be good is get the judges in front of the camera every so often to say, look, this is what I saw.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, but what about judges scoring it away from the ring and sitting in front of television sets so they can see all the angles and turning the volume down so Bean and Nelson and Macklin and can't lead them on kind of thing?
That's where it gets tricky because you know this as well as I do, Russ. Punches sound different depending on who throws them.
Yeah.
They can look the same. So you can say, like, I see this on Twitter a lot. Oh, this guy threw 30% more punches, right?
Yeah.
But if the other guy is ripping in and throwing the bone-crushing shots, you got to give him the round.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to hear all of that. And sometimes you need to be able to hear someone respond to you need to hear all of that. And I think if you put them in a screen away, what would be good actually is to have one judge behind the screen and away from the audience and see what that scorecard is. Like a shadow scorecard, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And then in the event that it's a draw, you might go to him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. That. Do you feel that he needs a shake-up kind of thing? No people coming in, different judges, different refs, different.
I think.
Scene.
So I think you just need a new generation of judges. Like that's where you need these guys like Robin Reed.
Yeah, he's reffing now, Robin, but that BKB.
I'd love to see Robin Reed as a judge. I'd love to see some of these guys, like you're talking about guys like Michael Brody and Scott Quigg. Let them be judges.
Yeah. Carl Thompson, I'd like to see him on scene, but he seems to be one of them that just don't want to be part of that circle. Kind of. I'm not surprised after his loss against Johnny Nelson, probably worst stoppage I've ever seen in my life. But all right then. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Terry. You're always a good.
No worries, mate.
I know you've got an appointment to get to. All right. Well, listen, keep in touch. And
always do, mate.
I'll get these up today, Terry, and no intros and that fancy endings and that because I'm have a budget for the next 2 months at the moment. But we'll get these up today and we'll move forward. All right.
I told you, Russ, you got to learn to make your own videos now, man. It's about time you start learning how to edit videos.
I've had a go, mate. That YouTube stuff's terrible to work. It's I can't do it. Maybe I might be just thick. I don't know. I had an Astro Wars when I was a kid, when I was 12. Remember them Astro Wars?
Yeah. Nah, look, mate, you just got to keep at it, man. Like, you just got to keep at it. It comes eventually. All
right. Oh, well, I'm gonna have a go. I might have to do a course or something, but there's not enough time in day, but I'm going to try. I know you tech guys are good at stuff like that. But at the moment, I mean, I couldn't even get into my computer in office yesterday. I was ringing them up and that, and he kept saying, press caps. What the fuck is that? I kept putting my password and I kept going back to it and pressing bump, 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 and it wasn't going in. And then I thought, what's this here? This caps button. So I pressed it and then I got the capital button stuck on. But that was must be 2 hours that and a broken keyboard. In fact, I've had to buy a keyboard. Where's that gone? I've had to buy a new keyboard because the one I smashed in office yesterday, so I had to buy that out of my pockets. It cost me 35 quid for my temper. I'm not headed, aren't I? But I kept going with my password and it wasn't having it. It's so frustrating, isn't it? I rung him up, what's going on here? What have you done to this? He went, just press caps. And then that was that. So.
How was the keyboard? Was it rough, tough, and rugged?
Yeah, it were. Well, it weren't as that rugged because I managed to I broke the L button, so it's no good now. So, but it is what it is, isn't it? So,
yeah.
All right, then, mate. Well, listen, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
No worries, mate.
And I'll leave you to crack on with your day.
Peace. All right, mate. Speak to you soon, Russ. Okay.
Bye.
All right, mate. Bye.
Well, that was my very good friend Terry Chapman Dharma from London. He's from Zimbabwe originally, Terry. He's a very bright kid, a banker in London. You've got to give him respect, coming to another country and doing what he's doing. So we'll get these out today. And I believe I've got to go chemist in a minute. Somebody says to me, what tablets are you on, Ross, for this memory loss? And I've just been told, 2 seconds, keep finding penguin wrappers in here. Somebody says to me, well, they're not these tablets that people keep saying, okay, right. So I just want to point out something, because people keep asking, why do you keep forgetting things, right? Does anybody know what these tablets are in Vita D3? Now, when I went to doctors, I said I left my kids in McDonald's and drove off. Well, they were in that play area ages, and I was messing on my phone. I got in my car, drove off. Oh, I'm sure there's something I forgot. Anyway, I stopped, went back, and they were waiting with manager. They'd not been out at room for about an hour in that play area. You take the shoes off and jump about, don't they? Manager says, I've got your registration. So get in car, come on. Anyway, went doctors. So I keep forgetting things. I forgot a few things like that. They put me on these. And I've been told that they're just for vitamin D in Vita D3. But when you have a gastric band, if you have like you'll have 3 spoonfuls of your meal, and then you have to eat rest. Or you can sit over 4 or 5 hours and eat it, but it go cold. And when you're sick, you're pulling out nutrients out of your body, and it affects your memory. So you have these tablets, and it sort of like gives you your vitamins that you need. But I take them, but they don't seem to be working. I don't think. I don't know. So I just wondered if anybody out there has had a gastric band and they've got the same problem. I don't know, but when you've lost 13 stone 3 pound, you're going to get complications, aren't you, down the line? But that's another story way back east. So peace out, keep on trucking, keep supporting boxing. It's a fantastic sport. And I want somebody to come on the channel, or people to send me emails and things that you're happy with positive stuff, because a lot of the stuff that I'm putting out lately, it's a bit negative and it's puts me in a bad mood. But there's a lot of things that I'm unhappy about with boxing at the moment, but I'm hoping that down the line that we're going to sort it and get things going properly. But it is what it is, isn't it? So peace out. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining the members area. There's 4 videos up there at the moment. All good stuff and more to come. All right. Big kiss. You like that one, didn't you? Right, first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for liking and subscribing. It means a lot to me, because we're on this journey together, aren't we? So anybody got any ideas for the channel, fire them over to me, porkycorner@mail.com. all right? Shout out to Innovation Alloys and South Yorkshire Packaging, all right? Don't forget to subscribe, keep on trucking.